Hello, Los Angeles Dodgers fans. We've got fresh, exclusive videos and the latest updates just for you. Before we dive in, make sure to join our channel and hit that like button. This is the best way to stay on top of all the breaking news. The Los Angeles Dodgers made a move that few saw coming, and many longtime fans might find difficult to digest. Austin Barnes, the team's longest-tenured position player, has been designated for assignment to make room for the up-and-coming prospect, Dalton Rushing. For a player who's been the ever-reliable backup catcher for nearly a decade, it's the end of an era. Since joining the Dodgers in a trade with the Miami Marlins back in 2015, Barnes has worn Dodger blue with pride, earning a reputation not just for his work behind the plate, but also for his leadership in the clubhouse. He's been there through playoff battles, World Series glory, and roster overhauls, quietly anchoring a role that rarely makes headlines, but is absolutely crucial to a team's success. For many fans, Barnes was part of the furniture at Dodger Stadium, and now, suddenly, that piece has been removed. It all began with a trade that didn't make much noise at the time. Back in 2014, the Dodgers acquired Austin Barnes from the Marlins in a multiplayer deal that wasn't exactly front-page news. But by the time he made his MLB debut in 2015, those within the organization knew they had someone special. Over the next few years, Barnes grew into his role, first as a depth piece, then as a dependable backup behind the plate. Whether working with Yasmani Grandal or later Will Smith, Barnes brought consistency and calm to the battery, especially in high-leverage moments. He wasn't just a catcher. He was a pitcher's safety net, someone pitchers trusted, someone managers leaned on. And despite his ups and downs at the plate, Barnes' glove and baseball IQ kept him valuable. But baseball, like time, waits for no one. And in 2025, the Dodgers are pushing into a new chapter. With top catching prospect Dalton Rushing tearing up the minor leagues and making waves in AAA Oklahoma City, the front office had a decision to make. According to Fabian Ardaya of The Athletic, the Dodgers opted to designate Barnes for assignment, clearing both a 40-man and an active roster spot in one swoop. On paper, it makes sense. The Dodgers are always looking toward the future, and Rushing has all the tools to be a star. But emotionally, this one stings. Barnes was more than just a backup. He was part of the Dodgers' soul, someone who embodied the grind, the effort, and the quiet leadership that championship teams are built on. Barnes entered the 2025 season as the Dodgers' longest-tenured position player, marking his 11th season with the club. In an age where players come and go with the frequency of trade deadline rumors, staying with a single franchise that long is a rarity. He's been there for every pivotal moment in the team's recent history, from heartbreaking October exits to the long-awaited World Series win in 2020. Barnes was the type of player whose name never flashed across highlight reels, but who earned the respect of teammates, coaches, and fans alike. To see his tenure end, not with a farewell tour, but with a quiet DFA, feels like a harsh end to a career defined by loyalty and heart. Of course, there are practical reasons behind the move. Barnes' offensive production had been in decline over the last few seasons, even if he did show a slight bounce back in 2024. So far in 2025, across 13 games, he was hitting just .214/.233/.286 with 3 doubles and 2 RBIs. More concerning for the Dodgers brass was his diminished effectiveness at controlling the running game. In a league increasingly aggressive on the base paths, that's a significant liability. The front office may have felt that, despite his experience and clubhouse value, Barnes was no longer contributing enough on the field to justify his spot, especially with a hungry and talented young catcher like Rushing waiting in the wings. Still, this decision isn't just about numbers. It's about relationships, particularly the one between Barnes and Dodgers legend Clayton Kershaw. The two have built a bond that transcends baseball. Barnes often caught Kershaw's bullpen sessions, knew his rhythms, and was one of the few people who could read the ace's body language instinctively. With Kershaw poised to return from the 60-day injured list and begin his 18th season in a Dodgers uniform, this move takes on even more emotional weight. Barnes wasn't just a teammate. He was part of Kershaw's inner circle. And losing a trusted battery mate right before returning to the mound might hit harder than any line drive. Contractually, this also brings an interesting twist. Barnes signed a 2-year, $7 million extension with the Dodgers in July 2022. The deal ran through the 2024 season, with a $3.5 million team option for 2025 that the Dodgers decided to exercise. That decision back then showed a level of commitment, a belief that Barnes still had something to offer. And let's not forget his words at the time. It's a great organization, obviously, and I've been part of some special teams. I think that's part of the future, too. It's either World Series or nothing. That's the kind of team I want to be part of. Those weren't empty words. They were the sentiments of a player who loved where he was and believed he could still contribute. Now, with the DFA process underway, the question becomes, what's next for Austin Barnes? There's a chance another team takes a flyer on a veteran catcher with playoff pedigree and clubhouse leadership. There's also a chance the Dodgers look to retain him within the organization, perhaps in a coaching or player development role, should he clear waivers and choose that path. For all his quiet contributions, Barnes has always been praised for his baseball mind and his ability to work with pitchers. That kind of experience is invaluable, especially to young players. Whether on the field or in the dugout, Barnes may yet continue his journey in Dodger blue, just in a different uniform. The promotion of Dalton Rushing is exciting, no doubt. The young catcher is touted as the future at the position, a left-handed bat with power and strong defensive skills. Fans are eager to see what he brings to the big league stage. But even as the spotlight begins to shine on Rushing, it's impossible not to feel the shadow of Barnes' departure looming behind. These transitions are part of baseball's rhythm, the inevitable passing of the torch from one generation to the next. But that doesn't make them any easier. Barnes' story is a reminder that baseball is not just about stats and contracts. It's about people, relationships, and the emotional ties that bind fans to the players who wear their team's colors. As the Dodgers continue their pursuit of another World Series title, they do so with a slightly different heartbeat. The veteran catcher who once symbolized quiet strength and reliability is gone, replaced by the promise of tomorrow. It's a moment of change, of reflection, and of appreciation for everything Austin Barnes gave to the organization. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. The Los Angeles Dodgers are facing a whirlwind of challenges with their pitching staff, and the latest move comes as no surprise to fans who've been tracking the mounting list of injuries. On Thursday, the team announced the recall of left-hander Justin Wrobleski from AAA as they scramble to plug the holes in their starting rotation. In a corresponding move, the Dodgers optioned right-hander J.P. Feyereisen, who struggled to find his rhythm this season. It's been a rocky ride for Wrobleski in the majors so far, but the Dodgers are hoping that a second stint with the big league club might bring out something better in the 24-year-old. With the team down multiple starters, every arm is precious, and Wrobleski will get another shot to prove he belongs under the bright lights of Dodger Stadium. Wrobleski's journey back to the mound in L.A. is a story of both redemption and necessity. His only appearance with the Dodgers in 2025 was anything but smooth. He was tagged for 8 runs on 8 hits and 3 walks across 5 innings against the Nationals on April 8th. It was a brutal outing that left many wondering if he'd be given another chance. But here we are, barely a month later, and the call has come once again. That says less about Wrobleski's dominance in the minors and more about the desperate state of the Dodgers' pitching depth. Still, it's an opportunity, and for a young pitcher trying to establish himself, that's all you can ask for. Now it's up to Wrobleski to seize it. Let's not sugarcoat it. Wrobleski's numbers don't exactly inspire confidence. In 9 career appearances with the Dodgers, including 7 starts over the last 2 seasons, he holds a 1-3 record with a hefty 6.75 ERA. Those aren't the stats you hope to see from someone who's being asked to help stabilize a shaky rotation. But baseball is a game of timing and necessity, and sometimes the right moment arrives when the competition is thin and the need is high. Wrobleski has shown flashes of potential in the minors, enough to keep the organization intrigued. The Dodgers are banking on the idea that he's learned something from his past struggles and can deliver a more composed and effective performance this time around. While Robleski steps in, it's J.P. Feyereisen who steps out, at least for now. The 32-year-old right-hander hasn't looked sharp in limited action this season. Across just 2 relief outings, he's allowed a 13.50 ERA, a far cry from his respectable 3.27 ERA across 5 major league seasons. It's been a tough road back for Feyereisen, who's bounced around the league and dealt with injuries in recent years. The Dodgers gave him a shot to contribute, but the results just weren't there. It's a numbers game, and with the bullpen already being stretched thin, Los Angeles had little choice but to make a change. Feyereisen heads back to AAA, but he's a veteran who knows how quickly things can change in this game. The Dodgers' decision to recall Robleski is rooted in more than just numbers. It's about necessity. Roki Sasaki, one of the team's prized offseason additions and a beacon of excitement coming into 2025, became the latest casualty in a string of injuries to hit the starting rotation. Sasaki was placed on the injured list earlier this week with a right shoulder impingement, adding to the chaos. He joins a growing list of sideline starters, and his absence is a major blow to a Dodgers staff that was already in flux. Sasaki's electric stuff and poise had given fans a reason to believe he could anchor the rotation. Without him, the Dodgers are forced to dig deeper into their organizational depth, and that's where Robleski comes back into the picture. Thursday's game against the Oakland Athletics was already shaping up to be a bit unconventional for the Dodgers. With the rotation in shambles, they planned to go with a bullpen game, and right-hander Matt Sauer was tapped to start. Sauer himself isn't a regular in the rotation, so it's clear the Dodgers are in full-on survival mode when it comes to their pitching staff. Bullpen games are a roll of the dice. Sometimes they work beautifully. Other times they expose the thinness of a team's relief corps. It's a short-term solution, but one the Dodgers have leaned on more than they'd like in recent weeks. And unless they get some arms back soon, fans should expect to see more improvisation like this going forward. What makes the current state of the Dodgers pitching staff so concerning isn't just the injuries, it's the timing. We're still in the early stages of the season, and yet the team is already testing the limits of its depth. This isn't September, when you can call up every arm in the system. It's May, and Los Angeles is trying to navigate a grueling stretch with patchwork solutions. The front office has done a good job stockpiling talent in recent years, but no amount of depth can fully prepare a team for the kind of rotation attrition they've suffered this season. It's a high-wire act right now, and every game becomes a new challenge for manager Dave Roberts and his staff. For Robleski, this recall isn't just about plugging a hole. It's a personal crossroads. At 24, he's at an age where prospects start to either solidify their place in the big leagues or fade into the background. The Dodgers still see potential in his arm, and they're giving him another chance to show it at the highest level. He'll need to command the strike zone better than he did in April, and he'll need to find a way to keep hitters off balance if he wants to stick. It's a tough task, especially when you're under the microscope in a market like Los Angeles. But Robleski's got the ball again, and what he does with it from here could shape his career trajectory. This situation also raises larger questions about how the Dodgers manage their pitching depth moving forward. Do they start looking outside the organization for reinforcements? Is it time to consider a trade, even this early in the season? With playoff expectations and a fan base that demands results, standing pat may not be an option much longer. If injuries continue to mount, or if the young arms can't rise to the occasion, the front office might be forced into action. For now, though, they're trying to hold the line with what they have, and Robleski is a big part of that plan, ready or not. In the end, the recall of Justin Robleski is more than just a roster move. It's a snapshot of where the Dodgers stand right now. Talented but vulnerable, deep but stretched. It's a reminder that even the most powerful teams in baseball are just a few injuries away from scrambling to find answers. And in that scramble, stories like Robleski's emerge. Will this be the start of something redemptive for the left-hander? Or will it be another chapter in a rocky career? Either way, fans will be watching closely because in LA, every pitch matters and every chance counts. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.